John Milne, the 30th of December 1850 to 31 July 1913, was a British geologist and mining engineer who worked on a horizontal seismograph. Biography. Milne was born in Liverpool, England, the only child of John Milne of Milnrow, and at first raised in Rochdale and later moved to Richmond near London. He was educated at King's College London, AKC in Applied Science, 1870, and the Royal School of Mines. Early career. In the summers of 1873 and 1874, following a recommendation by the Royal School of Mines, Milne was hired by Cyrus Field as a mining engineer to explore Newfoundland and Labrador in search of coal and mineral resources. During this time he also wrote papers on the interaction of ice and rock, and visited Funk Island, writing another paper on the newly extinct Great Auk. In December 1873, Milne accompanied Drive Charles Tilston Becker on an expedition to determine the true location of Mount Sinai in northwest Arabia. He took the opportunity to study the geology of the Sinai Peninsula and passed on a collection of fossils to the British Museum. Career in Japan. 1875 to 1895. Milne was hired by the Meiji government of the Empire of Japan as a foreign advisor and professor of mining and geology at the Imperial College of Engineering in Tokyo from 8 March 1876, where he worked under Henry Dyer and with William Edward Ayrton and John Perry, partly from a sense of adventure and partly because he suffered from seasickness. He traveled overland across Siberia, taking 3 months to reach Tokyo. In 1880, Sir James Alfred Ewing, Thomas Gray and John Milne, all British scientists working in Japan, began to study earthquakes following a very large tremor which struck the Yokohama area that year. They founded the Seismological Society of Japan, SSJ. The society funded the invention of seismographs to detect and measure the strength of earthquakes. Although all three men worked as a team on the invention and use of seismographs, John Milne is generally credited with the invention of the horizontal pendulum seismograph in 1880. Milne's instruments permitted him to detect different types of earthquake waves and estimate velocities. In addition, the foreign professors trained Japanese students including Seiki Sekiya, who would become, at the Imperial University, the first professor of seismology at any university in the world, and his successor, Fusaki Chiyomori, who refined Milne's instruments to detect and record finer vibrations. Order of the Rising Sun. In June 1895, Milne was commanded to attend a meeting with His Imperial Majesty Emperor Mutsuhito and following this, returned to England. Soon after his arrival he learned that the Emperor had conferred upon him a rare distinction, the third grade of the Order of the Rising Sun, and a life pension of 1,000 yen. This was in recognition of Professor Milne's contributions to seismology during his long residence in Japan. Contributions to anthropology. From 1882, Milne contributed also to anthropology. He helped to develop theories on the origin of the Ainu of northern Japan and on the prehistoric racial background of Japan in general. He excavated for several years in the Omori shell mound and introduced the concept of the Koropok-guru race, linked with the Inuit. Koropok-guru is from an Ainu word meaning the man under the rhubarb, i.e., a small person. An Ainu legend concerning their existence seems first to have been reported by Milne, but he believed their prehistoric sites to be only in Hokkaido. For northeastern Japan proper, he supported the tradition which ascribed prehistoric sites to the Ainu, who lived in pits and made stone implements and pottery. He considered the inhabitants of the Kuril Islands, Sakhalin and southern Kamchatka to be of a different race, but possibly related to the Koropok-guru. He anticipated the work of scientists who recognized in excavated materials. Different prehistoric cultures for Hokkaido and northeastern Japan. His first cousin William Scoresby Routledge, related through his mother, Emma Twycross, was also an anthropologist. With his wife Catherine, Routledge worked in the early 20th century in East Africa with the Kikuyu and on Easter Island, Rapa Nui. Career in England, 1895 to 1913. After a fire on 17 February 1895 destroyed his home, observatory, library, and many of his instruments, Milne resigned his posts on 20 June 1895 and returned to England with his Japanese wife, settling at Scheid Hill House, Scheid, on the Isle of Wight, where he continued his seismographic studies. He was made a professor emeritus of Tokyo Imperial University. He was elected a Fellow of the Royal Society in 1887 and persuaded the Society to fund 20 earthquake observatories around the world, equipped with his horizontal pendulum seismographs. His network initially included 7 in England, 3 in Russia, 2 in Canada, 1 in Toronto and 1 in Victoria, British Columbia, 3 on the east coast of the United States, and 1 in Antarctica, eventually growing to total 40 worldwide. These stations sent their station registers to Milne, where the data formed the basis of Milne's researches. For the next 20 years, Milne's Seismological Observatory was the world headquarters for earthquake seismology. In 1898, Milne, with W. K. Burton, published Earthquakes and Other Earth Movements, which came to be regarded as a classic textbook on earthquakes. The need for international exchange of readings was soon recognized by Milne in his annual Scheid Circular Reports on Earthquakes, published from 1900 to 1912. This work was destined to develop in the International Seismological Summary being set up immediately after the First World War. He delivered the Bakerian Lecture to the Royal Society in 1906 entitled Recent Advances in Seismology and was awarded their Royal Medal in 1908. Milne died of Bright's disease on 31 July 1913 and is buried in St. Paul's Church, Newport. He had married Tone, daughter of Horikawa Noritsune, who returned in 1919 to Japan and died in 1926. To mark the 100th anniversary of Milne's death, a public artwork has been commissioned for Little London near the harbour at Newport. The local parish council is providing a detailed explanatory board at Scheid. Notes. Clancy, Gregory. 2006. Earthquake Nation. The Cultural Politics of Japanese Seismicity. 1868–1930. Berkeley. University of California Press. ISBN 9780520246072. OCLC 219039402. Herbert Gustar, A. Leslie and Patrick A. Knott. 1980. John Milne, Father of Modern Seismology. Tenterden. Paul Norbury. ISBN 9780904404340. OCLC 476242679. Japanese edition 1981. Paul Kabner, John Milne, The Man Who Mapped the Shaking Earth. ISBN 978-0-9555289-0-3. Published by Craven and Pendle Geological Society in March 2007. Nishioka, Hideo. W. Egbert Schenk. An Outline of Theories Concerning the Prehistoric People of Japan. American Anthropologist. Copyright 1937. American Anthropological Association. Robert Stoneley. The History of the International Seismological Summary. Geophysical Journal Research. 1970. 20. 343 to 349. British Geological Survey, Scotland. A catalogue of archive materials associated with John Milne. 2. John Milne, The Miner's Handbook. A handy reference on the subjects of mineral deposits, mining operations, etc. 1894. 3. John Milne, Earthquakes and Other Earth Movements. New York. D. Appleton and Company. 1886. 363 pages. 4. John Milne, Seismology 1898 to 348 pages. 5. John Milne, Considerations on the Flotation of Icebergs, Geological Magazine. Decade 2. 1877. 4. 65 to 71 Cambridge University Press. 6. Professor John Milne, F.G. S. of the Imperial College of Engineering. Tokyo, Japan. Quarterly Journal of the Geological Society. 1877. V. 33. Issue 1-4. p. 929-931. On the action of coast ice on an oscillating area. 7. John Milne, Ice and Icework in Newfoundland. Geological Magazine. July, August, September, 1876. 8. Seismological Journal of Japan. Volume 11. By John Milne, Nihon Jishin Gakkai, Japan. Earthquake Effects. Emotional and Moral. 1887. 9. Burton, W. K. Ogawa, K. Milne, John. 1894. Great Earthquake in Japan 1891. Yokohama, Japan. Lane, Crawford & Co. OCLC 3,617,644. With 30 plates. 10. John Milne, The Prehistoric Remains of Japan. Notes on Stone Implements from Otaru and Hakodate. 1879. 11. John Milne, The Stone Age in Japan. By John Milne, F.G. S. of the Imperial College of Engineering. Yedo, Japan. 12. Yamashita, Shinji. Bosco, Joseph. Seymour Eads, Jeremy. The Making of Anthropology in East and Southeast Asia. 13. Seismological Journal of Japan. Jishin Gakkai. Articles by John Milne. Volumes 5. 812. 5 articles. 131,516. 2 articles. 17. 5 articles. Book digitized by Google and uploaded to the Internet Archive. 14. John Milne, 1878. 3. Across Europe and Asia. Traveling Notes. Geological Magazine. Decade 2. 5. pp. 29 to 37 DOI. 10.1017, S0016756800146254. 15. Hudson, Mark. Cave Up by the EPI Jomon People. 16. John Milne, The Waterway to London. As explored in the Wanderer and Ranger with Sail, Paddle and Oar. 1869, The British Library. 17. John Milne, Father of Modern Seismology, a site providing much information with many multiple links and references, compiled to celebrate the centenary of his death. John Milne on Tokyo University Library website. Japanese. Includes photographs. Carisbrooke Castle Museum collection includes many thousand original historic images. Isle of Wight County Record Office. Original material including manuscripts and images. Earthquakes. A seismograph measures earthquakes at inventors. About.com. John Milne, Isle of Wight's Earthquake Science Pioneer, BBC News article. 31 July 2013. 18. By International Seismologic Centre, IISC in UK. ISC is the 1964 successor to the ISS established in 1899 by Milne. See Wiki page.